Are you feeling the pinch of rising costs in America? You're not alone. Across the country, many families, retirees, and even younger workers are struggling with high rents, expensive mortgages, and an uncertain housing market. But here's the surprising twist. While most headlines scream about unaffordability, there are actually some U.S. cities where rent prices and even home values are falling. Yes, you heard that right. Falling. And in today's video, we're counting down the top 10 U.S. cities where rent and housing costs are dropping, giving you a rare window of opportunity if you're thinking about moving. Whether you're planning a relocation now in 2025 or looking ahead to 2026, this list will help you make smarter decisions about where to live, retire, or invest. Stick around until the very end, because the number one city on this list may surprise you. And here's a quick challenge for you. Comment below which state you think will appear in the top 3. I want to see how many of you can guess it right. Number 10. Seattle, Washington. Seattle is usually one of the most expensive cities in the country. Known for its tech industry, coffee culture, and waterfront skyline, it's not exactly a place people expect affordability. But lately, Seattle has surprised analysts because rental prices have actually gone down in several neighborhoods. Why is this happening? A big reason is the surge in new apartment construction. Developers have been adding thousands of rental units across the Seattle metro area, from downtown to the suburbs. This increase in supply is finally starting to ease pressure on renters, and as a result, landlords are lowering asking rents to stay competitive. In 2025, many residents have already noticed this change, and for those considering a move in 2026, it means Seattle could be more attainable than before. Of course, housing is still not cheap overall, but if you want a big city lifestyle with job opportunities in tech, healthcare, and education, this dip in rent might be the chance to lock in a deal. Looking ahead into 2026, experts predict that rent prices in Seattle will remain relatively stable. Unless there's a sudden economic boom, the balance of supply and demand should keep costs from skyrocketing again. For professionals and even retirees who want access to top hospitals, cultural activities, and natural beauty, Seattle could be worth considering. Number 9. West Palm Beach, Florida. Now, let's head to the Sunshine State. West Palm Beach, Florida has long been a retirement haven thanks to its warm weather, beaches, and lifestyle. But here's the surprising part. In 2025, home prices in the West Palm Beach metro have actually declined. Why? Well, part of the reason is that the huge migration wave into Florida during the pandemic has cooled down. With higher interest rates and more inventory finally hitting the market, buyers now have more options, and sellers have had to reduce asking prices. For someone considering retirement or relocation, this creates a unique opportunity. West Palm Beach still offers all the classic Florida advantages: golf courses, healthcare facilities, vibrant senior communities, and of course, sunshine year-round. But now, you might be able to buy a home or condo for less than you would have paid just a year or two ago. Looking forward into 2026, analysts suggest that the West Palm Beach market will stay relatively soft. Prices aren't expected to collapse, but they're also unlikely to surge again immediately. That makes it a good place to secure property while things are calm, before the next cycle of growth begins. And here's a quick question for you. If you had to choose between Seattle's cooler climate with tech jobs and Florida's sunny beaches with lower home prices, which one would you pick? Drop your answer in the comments. I'd love to know how many of you are leaning toward lifestyle versus affordability. Number 8. Phoenix, Arizona. Phoenix has been one of the hottest housing markets in America for years, and I don't just mean the desert heat. During the pandemic boom, prices soared as buyers from California and other states flooded into Arizona. But here's the big change. In 2025, Phoenix has started seeing a decline in both home values and rents. Why is this happening? High mortgage rates slowed down demand, and suddenly, homes that used to attract multiple offers are sitting longer on the market. Sellers have had no choice but to cut prices. Meanwhile, in the rental market, the surge in new apartment complexes across Phoenix and the surrounding suburbs is pushing landlords to lower rents. For families, this is a major shift. Phoenix still has its advantages: relatively low taxes compared to many coastal states, a booming job market in healthcare, tech, and manufacturing, and of course, sunny weather almost all year. But now, with prices cooling, it's a much more realistic option for both buyers and renters. Looking ahead into 2026, experts predict a reset in Phoenix rather than a full crash. That means prices could stabilize at lower levels, making it one of the most attractive metros in the Southwest for those planning relocation. Number 7. Denver, Colorado. Next up is Denver, Colorado. Known for its outdoor lifestyle, craft beer, and stunning mountain views, Denver has been a magnet for young professionals and families over the past decade. But in 2025, something unexpected happened. Home prices and rents both started to dip. The reason? Denver's housing market simply got too expensive for too many buyers. When interest rates climbed, affordability dropped sharply and demand cooled. Combine that with new apartment supply coming onto the market, and suddenly Denver became a softer market than anyone predicted just a few years ago. For those looking to move, this could be the right moment. Denver still offers strong job opportunities in tech, aerospace, healthcare, and green energy. It's also a hub for retirees who want access to high-quality hospitals and an active, outdoorsy lifestyle. Imagine being able to live in a city with world-class hiking, skiing, and cultural attractions, but at a lower monthly cost than in recent years. That's the Denver of today, and possibly of 2026. Analysts expect the Denver market to remain balanced, with buyers and renters having more negotiating power. For relocators, this could be the sweet spot before prices eventually start climbing again.
Number 6. Minneapolis, Minnesota. At number 6, we're heading north to Minneapolis. This city often flies under the radar, but in 2025, it's become one of the notable metros where asking rents have fallen. Minneapolis has long been known for its affordability compared to coastal metros, but even here, rents had been climbing in the past decade. Now, thanks to new housing construction, a steady population trend, and cooling demand, renters are finally seeing relief. For newcomers, Minneapolis offers a lot more than people might expect. The city is home to strong healthcare systems, major universities, and corporate headquarters like Target and 3M. That means jobs, education, and medical care are all easily accessible. Add in a vibrant cultural scene with theaters, music, and outdoor festivals, and you've got a balanced lifestyle. Looking toward 2026, the trend suggests stability rather than sharp growth in housing costs. That makes Minneapolis a strong candidate for families, retirees, or professionals seeking affordability in a city with quality services and a strong sense of community. Now let's pause for a moment. You've just seen cities from the West Coast, the Southwest, and the Midwest where prices are cooling, but the biggest surprises are still ahead, including one Florida metro where home prices are falling faster than almost anywhere else in the country. So stay tuned because the top 5 will completely change the way you think about relocation in America. And if you're finding this video helpful so far, hit that like button. It really supports the channel and helps more people discover these insights. Number 5. Providence, Rhode Island. Providence is one of those cities that doesn't always make the headlines, but it has quietly become a major talking point in 2025. For years, Providence was overshadowed by nearby Boston and New York, 2 of the most expensive cities in America. But what's happening now is a real shift. While rents in those bigger metros are still challenging, Providence has actually seen asking rents fall. Why is this important? It shows that smaller metro areas can sometimes provide a better balance of affordability and lifestyle. Providence is home to Brown University and the Rhode Island School of Design, which keeps the city young, creative, and intellectually vibrant. Add in its historic neighborhoods, walkable downtown, and easy access to the New England coast, and it suddenly looks like a hidden gem. For someone considering relocation, Providence offers many of the benefits of living in the Northeast: culture, education, healthcare, and proximity to Boston or New York, but at a fraction of the price. Experts predict that into 2026, Providence will remain far more stable than its neighbors, and that makes it one of the most overlooked opportunities for renters and buyers who want to stretch their dollar while staying close to major hubs. Number 4. New Orleans, Louisiana. At number 4, we have New Orleans, a city famous not just in America, but worldwide. When people think of New Orleans, they think of jazz music, French Quarter architecture, Mardi Gras, and some of the best food in the country. But in 2025, the housing market here is telling a new story. Data shows that both home prices and demand have cooled. Affordability has been a major issue for years, and the higher mortgage rates of 2024 and 2025 pushed even more buyers out of the market. The result? Homes are sitting longer, sellers are lowering asking prices, and renters are seeing more options. But here's where it gets interesting. New Orleans is still one of the most culturally rich cities in the U.S., and its cost of living is lower than the national average in many categories. For retirees or remote workers, that's a big deal. You can enjoy a slower lifestyle, world-class food, and access to a vibrant cultural scene without breaking the bank. Looking forward, analysts suggest New Orleans may not bounce back to its previous housing highs quickly. That makes 2025 and 2026 a potential sweet spot for people who want to move here while prices are still in their more affordable phase. Number 3. Jacksonville, Florida. Florida continues to dominate these rankings, and at number 3, we've got Jacksonville. This city is often considered Florida's best-kept secret. While Miami and Orlando grab attention, Jacksonville offers a combination that's hard to beat. Miles of beaches, riverfront living, and one of the largest land areas of any U.S. city. Housing data shows that Jacksonville's prices have slipped in 2025, and it's not a crash, but it's a meaningful reset after years of growth. For renters, that means more apartments available and landlords competing for tenants. For buyers, it means you can finally negotiate again. Something almost impossible just a few years ago. What makes Jacksonville stand out is its versatility. Young professionals are drawn here because of job growth in healthcare, logistics, and finance. Families like the suburban communities and schools, and retirees enjoy Florida's tax-friendly system and access to medical care. It's also less crowded and less expensive than South Florida, which adds to its appeal. By 2026, Jacksonville is expected to remain one of the most affordable major cities in Florida. That's why people planning ahead for a move are keeping a close eye on it now. Number 2. Tampa, Florida. Staying in Florida, Tampa has been one of the country's housing hotspots for years. But in 2025, the story changed. After years of explosive growth, Tampa's housing market has cooled. Home prices are falling, and rents are showing signs of softening. Why? The affordability crunch. Many buyers simply couldn't keep up with the fast-rising prices of the past few years. When interest rates jumped, demand slowed dramatically. Sellers are now having to lower expectations, and renters are finding slightly more breathing room. For anyone thinking about relocating, this is a rare opportunity. Tampa offers the Florida lifestyle, sunshine almost year-round, access to beautiful Gulf Coast beaches, professional sports teams, a thriving cultural scene, and strong job opportunities in healthcare, tourism, and technology. It's no surprise Tampa has been one of the fastest-growing metros in the U.S., but what's different now is that you can enjoy these perks at a slightly lower cost. By 2026, experts believe Tampa's housing market will balance, but prices are unlikely to return to the peaks of 2021 to 2022 anytime soon. That makes the current moment one of the most attractive times to consider a move. Number 1. Austin, Texas. If there's one housing market that tells the story of America's pandemic boom and post-pandemic cooldown, it's Austin. Just a few years ago, this city was breaking records. Tech companies were moving in, Californians were relocating in droves, and home prices skyrocketed. But in 2025, Austin is leading the nation in declines, both in rents and home values. Why? Simply put, the market overheated. Too many people moved in too quickly. Too many investors bought up properties, and prices soared beyond what the average family could afford. Combine that with rising mortgage rates, and demand fell sharply. Now, Austin is flooded with new apartments and homes, Landlords are offering deals to renters, sellers are cutting prices, and buyers finally have room to negotiate. For anyone who wanted to move to Austin but couldn't afford it a few years ago, this is your window. But here's what makes it fascinating. Austin is still Austin. It's still the live music capital of the world. It's still home to Tesla, Apple, Google, and other tech giants. It still has no state income tax, great food, and a youthful, creative vibe. Those fundamentals haven't changed. What has changed is the cost. And that's good news for relocators. Looking ahead into 2026, analysts expect Austin to remain one of the most affordable major tech hubs in America, at least compared to where it was just a few years ago. That makes it a unique case, a booming economy paired with a cooling housing market. So there you have it. The top 10 U.S. cities where rents and home prices are cooling in 2025 and where opportunities may continue into 2026. From the Northeast to the South, from coastal metros to tech hubs, these shifts are reshaping where Americans can realistically afford to live. The big takeaway? Affordability is making a comeback, but only in certain places. If you're planning a move, the next 12 to 18 months could be your best chance to get in before the cycle changes again. Which city on this list surprised you the most? Would you move to Austin while it's cheaper, or head to Florida for the sun, or maybe to Providence for a Northeast lifestyle at a discount? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. And if you found this breakdown useful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. That way you'll always stay updated on housing trends, relocation tips, and the best places to live in America.